Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, I am the Chall, and today Chall chats BGT. That's right, this is the first of our two big show discussion series over the summer. Now, of course, this is just a one-off for the 2023 Britain's Got Talent final. This will carry over to 2024, where we're going to do a full series of Chall Chats BGT. So before we get started, make sure you do like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell to never YouTube video. We're going to go through every single finalist performance. We're also going to go through my top 11, what I would have gone for from 11th to 1st, and also the actual results as well, because the voting percentage came in last night as well. So we're going to go through 11th to 4th and then the top 3 in real life, and also go through my 11th to 4th and then the top 3 in my personal opinion. And we're also going to talk about first of all how I judge the final. So I sort of go by 3 specific things. It's, did they improve on the semi-final? How did they connect with the audience, and what do they do after the show? Because that's one of the things that always needs to be said. It's how do you do after Britain's Got Talent? After you've had that platform, what is next for you as an act? And then finally, are they good enough to win the whole thing based on that performance? So that's how I sort of want to judge each of the acts, really. So we're going to go through each act. We've got about an 8-minute window maximum to talk about each individual act, and we're also going to talk about the results afterwards as well. Now, of course, each act discussion won't always go up to the maximum of 8 minutes. However, that is my maximum window to really dive into a bit of detail about each individual act. So let's get started straight away with the first act of the night. So the first act of the 2023 Britain's Got Talent final was Ghetto Kids from Uganda in Africa. They're an energetic dance group. And they brought a lot of energy to that performance. I thought the Ghetto Kids were really this bundle of joy, and they sort of spread that towards the whole of the audience and the people watching at home as well. And I thought that their routine had a lot of fire, it had a lot of passion, had a lot of energy, had a lot of stamina. You have to have a lot of stamina to do that kind of routine. They never really stopped bringing that energy either, and that's one of the positives with Ghetto Kids for me as an act. Their energy from start to finish, it never kind of dips, it never goes to a lower point than when it started. It always stays pretty much the exact same level of energy throughout each performance, and that's what I really love about this particular act. They have this real energy about them that's consistent throughout the whole performance. I thought the mid-section of the performance, I thought had a pretty good moment of strength, of personal strength, when they did that holding position with the hand movements at the same time. I thought the thigh strength was particularly impressive. And again, just the overall the movements, the flow of the movements, again, just very, very energetic. And I thought Ghetto Kids did a wonderful job. Was it better than the semi-final performance? I think it was definitely their best performance of the entire series. And they saved that ready for the final. I think it was slightly better than their semi-final. I wouldn't say by too much, but I think their semi-final was just as good anyway. So Ghetto Kids really did Uganda proud, and they did themselves proud as well, and their families as well. So next up was the young singer Olivia Lynes, Amanda's Golden Buzzer. And I mean, first of all, the song choice, Let It Go from Frozen. For her as a singer and the kind of style of music that she's been performing on the show, I think that kind of song suited her. I think that was a smart song choice for her range. I think that at the start of, I think the first verse, I could sense nerves in the vocals, and I think that's probably just a natural thing, because at the end of the day, she's 11 years old. She stood on one of the biggest stages on national television in one of the biggest talent shows in the world, and she's an 11-year-old kid on stage in front of millions of people watching at home, and however many people in the arena. So of course there's going to be nerves somewhere. It's not human not to feel nerves at any point during your life. So, I could sense nerves at the beginning in the first verse, and I could understand that. The middle of the song got better. I think she got better in the middle of the song, and then the high notes at the end, she really belted that out with some passion, with some force, some strength, and she did a really good job. I think that she had some real gracefulness and beautifulness in her voice, and still delivered that stance and that power, because, you know, the song itself, Let It Go from Frozen, is all about, you know, being powerful. It's all about having that stance. It's about being that person in the moment, taking control of the atmosphere, taking control of the stage and the situation. And I thought that Olivia portrayed that very, very well. I think she did a great job. She did a mum and a dad and a family huge proud. She did them so proudly. She did herself proud as well, and I'm sure Amanda was proud as well. She did look really, really proud on the night. Olivia did a fantastic job, and you know, I think, and this is the point where I come to as to where we go from here with acts, and I'm not going to talk about that with every act in this review, but I think for Olivia, I think where for her next, obviously she's still 11 years old, so she's still going to be studying at school, etc. But in terms of her singing career, I think with a bit more work and a lot more time, which will come with age, I think Olivia could definitely try and aim for things like the West End, maybe have a shot at Broadway, the theatrical circuit. I think if she wants to go into releasing singles or records down the line, I think there's an opportunity for her to do that. And I think Olivia's got a nice bright future. Obviously, she's still 11 years old, so her voice isn't as strong as other singers. However, she's still 11 years old. There's still room to grow and still room for potential. So I think that Olivia definitely has room to grow. And with her being 11 years old, it's the perfect time, this platform, because it allows her to study, educate, get more experience, and then when she's older, go for the singles, go for the records, go for West End, go for Broadway, and use this platform as a reference to what she can do in the future. So I think she did everyone very, very proud, and she's got a bright future for sure. Next up, Amy Lou, and it's very important to mention she only gave birth a few weeks ago. Now that's testament to how good of a singer she is already. Now the song choice, smart, I like it. I think that at the beginning it was very low toned, and then she sort of built it up, and then it got to this moment where I felt with Amy Lou she had this real stance about her. We talked about it with Olivia, how to have that stance and control the atmosphere, control the stage, control the crowd, and she had that crowd in the palm of her hand when she was belting out those notes, the high notes, the powerful notes. And she told a story with this particular song, and she definitely, for me as an audience member, for me someone who was looking for things for her to work on in the future, I think there wasn't really a lot wrong with that performance at all. There was barely anything wrong with that performance. I think Amy Lou did a fantastic job, and I think that you know, her singing voice is only going to get better as well. So I think that, again, Amy Lou is someone who is obviously much older than Olivia, but she's got still so much potential as well. And I think that Amy Lou, I mean, like I say, if she wants to, again, Broadway, the West End, that kind of thing could be good for her. If she wants to go into singles and records and albums, if she wants to do that, she's free to do that. She's got this platform as a reference now, and she's got a family to help take care of as well, you know, with a little baby. And you know, congratulations, by the way. So I think Amy Lou definitely has a bright future in music. I think she's got real potential. I think her different tones and her pictures were just spot on the night. I think she did her and her family immensely proud. And again, like I said, she's got a bright future in my opinion. I think she really controlled the stage. She's got a real stance on that performance. Was it the best performance that she did in the series? I think the semi-final was great. I think this was even better. I think she definitely one-upped on the semi-final performance. So Amy Lou for me did very well indeed. So now it's time for the judges' wildcard. Tonikaku, I think that's how it's pronounced. I don't want to be brutal or mean or anything like that, but I just didn't get it. I just completely didn't get it. I felt the whole act was a bit bonkers, if that's the nice way of putting it. It was a bit wild. It was a bit out there. Did I think it would fit the Raw Variety performance? Probably not. I think probably not's an understatement. Alright, let's just find the positives out of this performance. It was a little bit fun. I didn't find it funny personally, but I think he was doing it. I think he was serious about it. I think he was serious as an entertainer, but I think the whole act was just a bit of fun. People may have found it funny, people may not. I personally didn't find it as funny as other people. I thought the buzzer pose was the funniest bit. I thought that was a nice sort of BGT touch, gave it a little bit better. I thought him as a person was great. I think he's a great person, great personality, great character. I think he showcases what can be done if you try and never give up. I think he's a trier, and I respect him for that. I personally just didn't find it entertaining. I personally didn't, but fair play to him. He's been given the wild card by the judges. He does his thing. He does it, to the best of his ability, and that's the nicest way I can put it. So fair play to him. Was it my favourite act? Hell no. But what he is a trier, and I respect him for that, and I respect him as a person as well. So fair play to him for getting to the final, and it's a memory he'll take with him for the rest of his life, for sure. So next up is singer Travis George, and look, as a performer, I think he was a great singer. I think that he had some real powerful moments. I think he controlled the stage very, very well. I think he had some real stance, some real power, not just in his stance but in his vocal as well. I think he has some nice moments. Part of me thinks there was moments where I thought he could have reached a higher range. However, I think that, I don't know if it was nerves. I could definitely sense some nerves in part of his vocal on the night. Did I think he walloped his semi-final performance? I think it was similar to the semi-final. I think semi-final was great, don't get me wrong. I think it was a great performance in the semi-final, but did he do better in the final? I think a similar level to the semi-final. I don't think it one-upped that much. I think it was a great performance still. I thought it was brilliant, but again, all about the final. How do you improve? Have you improved from your semi-final? I don't think that much. And then when I see the rest of the acts and what they were doing, did I think that he had a chance of reaching the final after the other acts had performed? I don't believe he had a real shot after the rest of the acts performed. I don't think he had an opportunity to get into the top 3 after the rest of the acts performed. As for him, though, I think he's got a bright future. I think Broadway and West End are definitely in his sights. I think that he's got a potential not to be a full-on blown operatic singer, but I think what Travis does very, very well, and this is why This Is Me from The Greatest Showman was a smart choice for him as a song. I think what he did very well was he twisted it, and we've never really heard a male interpretation of the song much before, and I think he twisted it to suit his vocal range, and I think his vocal style. And I think what's good about Travis's vocal style is it's contemporary, but it has operatic elements involved, and it has this kind of reminds me a bit of Tom Ball from Britain's Got Talent last year. It gives me Tom Ball vibes with a bit more operatic side of him. So I think that Travis definitely did himself justice, did his family very, very proud. Did I think he was going to win it? No, but I think he did very, very well, and I think he should be proud of himself, and him and his whole family should be proud of himself as well, because he did very well on the night. I just don't think it was enough to be within a chance of getting in the top 3. So next up was duo Odyssey, and this was an intriguing performance. I think that, look at the previous performances that they've done. They've done like a heavenly kind of thing in the auditions. They did like a depths of hell kind of thing in the semi-final. what were they going to do in the final? And they explained it at the end to Simon. It was all about love and, you know, two people coming together. And I think that some of the things on display definitely showcased the potential of that. I think that the strength and the acrobatic strength on show, in the air, on the ground, was just fantastic. I think that the chemistry and connection they had with each other was just unsurpassable. Did they do better than the semi-final? I believe they did. I still think they should have had some kind of crescendo moment, and I think there's a couple of moments in that performance where they maybe could have gone a bit further in terms of taking risks and taking more risks and really putting their life on the line a bit more. However, I will just stress the fact that I don't think this was 100% a kind of stunt, danger, kind of escapist kind of act. I think it was more or less, it wasn't really like a dangerous act. It wasn't like one of those danger men, danger women kind of duos that's like, don't try this at home kind of thing. Obviously don't try this at home, but I think that it wasn't full-blown danger. I think it was just aerial, contemporary dance, movement and drama. So I think it combined a few different things, in my opinion, and I think they combined all the elements very, very well. I think the fire at the end, sort of at the back and around the side at the corners, was a nice touch to the scenery of the performance. I think it added a bit more. And the fact they only had a few days to, you know, get this together for the final was genius, absolutely genius. So fair play to them, fair play to them. Do I think they'd win the show? Probably not, but I think they did a wonderful job. We've not really seen many acts like this in the final of BGT before, and I think they did a fantastic job to really showcase the aerial contemporary art of creating something beautiful but also dramatic, and I think that added a lot of tension to the performance as well. So I think they did themselves very, very proud, and you know, I think in terms of what they do next going forward, I think, you know, obviously it'd be nice to see them maybe get their own tour, maybe have some different tricks and stories going off, and maybe create like a, and we saw in the, you know, the performances, this idea of heaven, hell, then romance. I'd like to see them maybe do like a story tour, so maybe do like different stories in different routines, or maybe like one big story and have them performing with a few other people, and have this whole kind of aerial story performance, like a bit of a tour going on. So I think that could be in their future, but overall they did very, very well. So next up, magician Cillian O'Connor, Irish, 13, 14 years old. Again, I thought he did very, very well. I think that he won up to his semi-final quite a bit. I thought the comic book trick at the start was quite genius. Obviously, we'd seen something similar with the newspaper with Jamie Raven when the some of the acts reunited for that kind of 10th anniversary performance a few years back. But I think it was nice to see Cillian do it in a different way, well, a slightly different way with a comic book. So I think it added a bit more dynamic to the performance. I think it added a bit more colour to it. I thought the Anne McPartlin disappearing at the end was quite genius as well. I think for a moment there it kind of had me fooled a bit, because it looked like the screen had exposed that card in the middle of the performance that Simon was holding up, and he felt really bad about it, but they kind of rescued it a bit with the card that was in the hat the whole time, you know, being, you know, related to that, and I think it kind of rescued that section of the performance. So I thought that was quite genius. It kind of had me fooled a bit. And Cillian did very, very well in terms of his stage presence. I thought he commanded the stage very, very well. I thought he had a lot of confidence, and he's just a wonderful lad. He's an inspiration to so many people, and you know, him, his mum and his dad should be very, very proud of him. I think his whole family should be proud of him. I think the whole of Ireland should be proud of him. You know, Ireland's found a young gem in the magician world, and you know, Cillian did himself proud. I think he did very, very well on the night. I think that he, in terms of what he does next, obviously he's still 14 years old. He's still got the rest of school to look forward to, education. In terms of his magical career, I would like to maybe see him go forward and do tours. I'd like to see him do live TV performances on talk shows, on different shows across television. I think Cillian as a magician will need to find his market and find his niche, but I think it won't be very hard to find, because I think Cillian for me is not just an inspiration as a person, but I think that Cillian as a magician, as a performer, is family friendly. Obviously, he brings this kind of colour and light and fun about it, and I think that he has a wonderful future in magic. If he just picks the right direction, I think there's nothing stopping him, in my opinion. So next up, Lilianna Clifton, and she's 13 years old, and she has the creativity, the stage presence, the tricks, the athleticism, the stamina, and the storytelling of a 20+ year veteran dancing expert. I mean, Lilianna just explored the stage very, very well. She explored the creativity of the storytelling very, very well. She made sure every move told a story. She made sure every single maneuver in the performance told 1,000 words. That's the best way I can put it. I mean, in the words of Chris Kamara, it was unbelievable, Jeff. Lilianna did fantastically well. She did brilliantly well, and she made her whole family proud. She made herself proud. She did Liverpool proud. And what I like about Lilianna is the way she exposes the vulnerability of her acting techniques. And what I mean by that is because in dance, I'm not a dance expert because I've never danced a step before barely in my life. So I'm not an expert in any way, but I think what I can get from the dancing world is you've got to be able to show expression, and your face is going to have to tell 1,000 words. That's the way it kind of brings across to me, especially contemporary dance and rhythmic dance. Lilianna did that in spade loads, and she really told the story. She told it very, very well, about breaking through, about heartbreak, about trust, about breaking through that barrier and saying, I'm strong enough. And she absolutely killed that performance. And for me, I mean, along with probably the Ghetto Kids at the time, before the other acts came on, I felt she was up there as one of the 5 acts that I thought had a real shot at the top 3. So I think that she did herself very, very proud. She did her family proud, and how she goes forward beyond this is intriguing, because I think I see many things in her future. I see some potentially big things in her future. She's still 13 years old, by the way. So, she's performing like a dancing veteran. She's 13 years old, so she's got a bright, bright future. And I'm really excited to see what's going to happen for her. Next up then, comedian Viggo Venn. And I think No Context Chall is probably going to be intriguingly excited about this particular review, because as you all know, if you've watched the No Context Chall page on Twitter, whoever runs that account, you'll know that's become a big thing. That's become probably the best thing that they've ever put out on that account. So you can imagine my reaction to all this. I've loved Viggo. His energy, his comic timing, I think him as a person comes across very, very well. I think it comes across as fun, it comes across as kind and caring, it comes across as energetic in spade loads. I think that Viggo is a shining light on many, many different aspects of life. He's the kind of person we need in society nowadays, and I think he comes across very, very well. The act itself, I mean, let's think this through. The audition was just all the stuff with the high-vis jackets. I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was a bit of fun. The semi-final, could you one-up that? Yes, he did, with the, hi, my name is who? My name is, you get the point. And, he did very, very well with that, and the way he portrayed all that was just fantastic. did he one-up his final performance? I thought the stuff with the big balloon, which, by the way, do not try at home, as the message said. I think that bit of it was funny. The stuff with the high-vis jackets at the end, finally getting Chall in the high-vis jacket was quite nice. It was a nice, entertaining touch. Overall, though, if I'm being brutally honest, I think that he is a great guy, but I didn't think his final performance was up to the level of the semi-final. I just didn't feel that connection. I thought the little thing where he sort of let go of the first big balloon and it dropped and then sort of deflated on the floor, and then you know fooling us, and then going back for the second one in the head attached to it, and then going inside and then popping out in the high-vis jacket. I thought that was very entertaining, and I think he's a very, very charismatic and energetic, entertaining act. Did I think he was good enough to win? I thought top three. Or amongst the favourites to be in the top three, because the main thing with Viggo is it's not just the act itself. The main thing with Viggo is the way he can hold the audience in the palm of his hand, and the way he can control an audience, and the way the audience just react to him, and the way his high-vis energy has swept the nation. That's why he's up there. That's why he's up there as one of the favourites for the top three. And he did very, very, very well indeed. So next up then, Musa Motha, the dancer. Of course, if you've never watched this series this year, he is an amputee. He's got one leg missing, and he is a rhythmic, lyrical dancer. And wow, that performance was breathtaking. Did he one up from the semi-final? Yes, he did. I thought there was some stuff in there, even the stuff towards the end where he didn't perform with the crutch and he sort of performed on one leg. That was just awe-inspiring. I mean, as a person, he's just amazing as a person. And what takes me about Musa is his energy, his passion, his body control. I think the power in his movements, I think the way he tells the story like Lilianna did, I think was just breathtaking. And again, I think he's just an inspiration. I think he's an inspiration to so many people. And God, I'm welling up thinking about it. He really got me in the heart, and he showed what anyone can do. Doesn't matter what adversities you face in life, you can do anything. And what he did was he showed the world what he can do, and what he can do is he can put two-legged dancers to shame with his talent. He's just an inspiration. He's a role model. He's perfect ambassador for the show, and he showed the world that he is, in my opinion, one of the best contemporary dancers I'd ever seen on that show, in my personal opinion. I think in terms of rhythmic, lyrical dancers who tell a story through every single movement, in terms of those type of lyrical dancers, he's, in my opinion, one of the best that's come on that show, bar none. And it's not because of his disability, it's because of how good he is as a dancer. His disability, I didn't even, at times I barely even noticed that he only had one leg. And that's how good he is. He made me focus on him as a dancer and him as a talent. And he's a fantastic dancer, a real talent, and a credit to the show. And he did himself and his family very proud. Very proud. And the final act of 2023 Britain's Got Talent is Malakai Bayoh, the 13-year-old opera superstar. Was this better than the semi-final? Yes, it was. That crystal clear note at the end of that performance, right at the top, where even veteran adult opera singers couldn't hit, was pitch perfect. I could sense nerves at the beginning, which is fair enough, he's 13 years old. But what he did was he showed everyone once again what he can do. And I think that he, again, like Musa, like so many other people on that show, like Viggo, like Lilianna, Malakai is an ambassador for the show. He's a role model. He's a credit to himself and his family. He is a wonderfully gifted performer. He's still 13 years old, which means he's still got a way to go. I thought the crystal clearness in some of his vocal was just perfect. I thought at the beginning some of the transitions between pitches and dynamics were a little bit ropey, but that's just little nitpicks here and there. Overall, he was just class on the night. He personified class, and I think that, again, he just did himself and his family very, 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 very proud. He, for me, was just amazing. He was just incredible. And I got to say, after that performance, again, it was a performance that made me well up. It was a performance that made me think, my God, who's going to get in this top 3? Who's going to win the whole show? But Malakai just ended the night brilliantly with that performance. And I thought, you know, in terms of where he goes next, obviously he's got education to look forward to, but beyond that, in terms of his singing career, he's got a long way to go and a lot of things to look forward to, in my opinion. So Malakai did himself and his family very, very well. And again, he's someone with a bright future, so really stay tuned for Malakai. So, with my individual performance reviews out of the way, it's time to share with you my top 11. Now, first of all, we're going to share with you the official top 11 through the voting percentages that were revealed on the night online. So, first of all, in last place, in 11th, we've got Tonikaku. In 10th place, duo Odyssey. In 9th was Olivia Lynes. In 8th was Travis George. Number 7 was Amy Lou. Number 6 was the Ghetto Kids, 5 Musa Motha, and number 4 was Malakai Bayoh. And your top 3, of course, 3rd place Cillian O'Connor, 2nd place Lilianna Clifton, and the winner was, of course, Viggo Venn, one more time indeed. Now then, what about my top 11? Who was my voting? Now, I've got to tell you, some positions I was close, some positions I was really not. And to be fair, I did a 2-tick system or 2-cross system. So I put 1 tick next to my prediction if I got them between 11th to 4th, if they were in that mix in any order, and then a tick next to the actual positions if I've got them in the right placement. So what's going to happen is I'm going to score myself a point system. So it's going to be 1 point if I get them within the 11th to 4th, or of course in this case in the top 3, it would be anywhere in the top 3 if I got an app there. It would be 1 point for that. It would be 2 points if I got a specific position. So 3 points in total. So 1 point for getting them inside and 2 points for getting them in a specific position. And with 11 acts, it would mean a maximum points total of 22. So let's go first of all into 11th place. I got that spot on. It was Tonikaku. So that's 2 points to me. In 10th place, duo Odyssey. So again, that's another 2 points. In 9th was Travis George. Now I did have him within that mix, so I'm going to give myself 1 point. In 8th, I had Olivia Lynes. She was inside the top at the 11th to 4th range, so I'm going to give myself another point. 7th, I had Cillian O'Connor, and this might divide opinion because I just felt like there was a couple of people just a little bit stronger. So 7th, I've given Cillian O'Connor, so no points there. 6th place, Amy Lou was my pick, so again a point. 5th, the Ghetto Kids, again another point. 4th, I went with Lilianna Clifton. Now the reason I went with her was because I just felt Viggo had that audience in the palm of his hand, and I just felt like he, for me, was just that little bit. I think he'd attract the public attention a little bit more, but that's not to say Lilianna wasn't great, because she was fantastic. So yeah, Lilianna I kind of missed out on. 3rd, I went with Viggo Venn. I felt Viggo was probably going to be 3rd, because I just felt like Malakai and Musa were probably stronger acts and performers on the night, even though Viggo was probably probably the public choice. I felt like Malakai and Musa were, in my opinion, stronger performers, but only just, with Viggo's public attention and the way he grasped the audience. So I think that it was close, but I went with Viggo third. And then second, I went with Malakai Bayoh. I thought he was a strong performer on the night, world-class performance, and just missed out in my opinion. And first, I went with Musa Motha. In my opinion, Musa should have won it, but I'm so happy for Viggo. I think he definitely deserved to win it in the end, and I think he did very, very well. So overall, then I've got a score of 9 out of 22, which is not even halfway. So I was a little close to halfway, but I was nowhere near getting over halfway. Comment down below. Did you agree with my predictions for the 11th to 4th and my top 3? Comment down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really enjoyed doing this. I can't wait to do this for Britain's Got Talent 2024 and review the auditions as well. Because that's what's going to be coming hopefully on the channel next year. We were supposed to be doing it this year, but I think certain other things started coming into effect and certain projects started happening, and I think we sort of pushed it back and pushed it back and pushed it back until it was too late. And that was going to be the big project I was going to reveal at the start of the year. So we are going to move it forward to next year. 2024 Britain's Got Talent will be the year we'll do a full series on this. Of course, stay tuned for another video coming today, because we've got Chall Chat's Love Island introducing the Islanders. That starts tonight at 9 o'clock, so stay tuned for that video. And for now, I'm the CHALL, and I'll see you for Chall Chat's Britain's Got Talent 2024.